Time now for round 10 of the Demon Tweaks Yokohama Stock Cats Championship combined with the Clio 182 series. Those cars start at the back of the grid with a 10-second delay. They are expected to come through the field, but it's really the Saxos and the 106s in the Stock Cats Championship that we are interested in. On pole position, it's the blue car of Tom Bell, who had his 5th win of the season yesterday. Next to him is the orange machine of Nathan Saunders. So red lights are on, and out they go. And it's a pretty even start between the two front row men. Saunders in the orange car that finished down in 8th in yesterday's race, although he was contending for a podium position until mid-race. He's got quite a decent start there as you watch the Clios start their race, heading down towards Abbey for the first time. There's half a dozen of them. His car's quicker in a straight line, but not quite as quick around the corners. It's Saunders then that was leading as they headed down towards Village Hairpin for the first time, but Tom Bell, I think, has got through on the inside to retake the lead. It looks like Lee Deegan was there in 3rd position as well. It's going to be a 13-minute plus 1 lap race for these cars. We should get 11 laps out of it as the first of the Clios come through. That's Martin Ward in the white car, and at the back of the field, the 22 car of Kevin Condon. On board with Lee Deegan then in 3rd position as they make their way down the Hanger Straight and towards Stowe for the first time. It's Tom Bell that leads, then Saunders 2nd, and Lee Deegan is in 3rd position. Didn't have such a good race yesterday, didn't Lee? Down in 9th position he finished after an early tangle. Here though he's just ahead of his brother Shane Deegan, who was on the podium yesterday. Through Stowe Corner and down towards the Vale then. The top 2 cars just beginning to make a little bit of a break ahead of the 2 Deegan brothers, Lee and then Shane. And in 4th position it looks to be the number 12 car of Steve Polsland, who had a podium finish for the first time in many a long year yesterday. 4th overall, but 3rd as far as the stock hatches were concerned. He's out there in car number 12, as I say. Took a break from stock hatch racing, but came back a couple of years ago. The driver from Eastleigh. The leaders head down towards Abbey for the 2nd time then. That's the 63 car you can see of Philip Wright, the yellow machine. He's down there in 8th position at the moment. That's just behind the Gregory car. Lee Deegan trying to find a way through there down at the village, heading through the left-hander now and on towards the right-hander at the link. It's nose to tail as they turn their way through there. This is where the cars join onto the Hanger Straight, longest straight on the circuit. You can see Trevor Gregory a bit further back in that multicoloured car running a little bit wide. As Martin Ward in the background, you can see his white Clio is just starting to get really stuck into the stock hatch field now. Challenge then for the lead, and it's really a 4 or even 5 car train for the lead. Well, actually make that 8, because at the rear of that group is Patrick Fletcher. He was a retirement from yesterday's race after a little bit of contact in the early stages. He was having his best race of the season so far though, the 2011 champion. He's going side by side as they turn their way through the corner there with Steve Polsland, who's going backwards a little bit, I'm afraid. Onto the international pit straight they go once more then. And it's Lee Deegan there in the 48 car, but just jinking out a little bit. He's 4th in the championship coming into this weekend. The championship order is Bell, Shane Deegan, Jake Farnton, who's not taking part this weekend, had to withdraw his entry, and Lee Deegan in 4th. But Tom Bell with a 29-point lead coming into this weekend, looking very good for the championship. Through Village they go, and it's still nose to tail amongst these identical 1.6 litre Citroen Saxos. Here comes Nathan Saunders having a look as they go through the link, but he can't quite make that work. Certainly now it is a 5-car train for the lead. Lee Deegan gets some good speed out of that corner onto the Hanger Straight now. I think he's got through up to 2nd position. What's happened to Nathan Saunders? Has he made a mistake? Thumbs up there. Now does that mean that his brother Shane has managed to follow him through as well? We'll see very shortly. It looks like he has. Yes, Shane Deegan through into 3rd position as well. Nathan Saunders down to 4th. It's still Tom Bell that leads. Paul Jarvis there in 5th position. He's having a pretty good season, lying 7th in the championship coming into this weekend. Perhaps hasn't always got the result that his pace deserved, and that includes yesterday's race really. Oh, one contact between Nathan Saunders and Shane Deegan there. Paul Jarvis tries to nip through and capitalise, but there's a little bit of a touch as he tried to find the gap through ahead of Nathan Saunders, and those two were rubbing door handles yesterday as well. We've had the change of lead though. Tom Bell goes down to 2nd. Well, the top two pulling away. We go on board with Lee Deegan in the lead of this race through this very fast left-hander at Farm. Then very shortly onto the brake area for what is pretty much a hairpin at the village. And through on the inside goes Tom Bell. Almost out of nowhere as far as we were concerned. I'm sure that Lee had clocked him in his mirrors. But the championship leader goes through and Lee Deegan goes back down to second position. Lee has won one race this season. His brother Shane has won a couple. But even between them, they've not won as many as Tom Bell, who's back into the lead of this race then. Tremendous racing this from the Demon Twigs Yokohama Stock Cats Championship. But there you can see the first of the Clios is coming through now. And that looks to me like it is the number 15 car, the number 19 car, I beg your pardon, of Mark Armstrong. As the leaders almost swapping positions once more, and certainly Lee Deegan gets a better run through Stowe that time as into the pit lane comes number 10, Terry Roughton. Veteran is out of the race. But Lee Deegan on the outside line for the Vale and has to tuck back in behind the number 54 car of Tom Bell. It's still Shane Deegan that's there in third, but out to fourth place overall is that number 19 car of Mark Armstrong, hiring that car out this weekend. Down towards Stowe Corner, and it looks like Armstrong, who's an instructor here at Silverstone, is trying to forge his way through into the outright lead of the race, and I think he's done it, but Tom Bell's not giving up. It doesn't matter this, the Clio is not part of the Stock Cats Championship. They're not racing for points, but Tom Bell is racing for pride. Down towards the Vale they go. It's going to be Bell on the inside line, Armstrong on the outside line. Who's got it? Well, they're still side by side. It's going to be the inside line for Armstrong through the double right-hander at Club Corner. They're slowing each other up a little bit here. Bell holds on though. It's still Armstrong in second place, but shortly down the straight the Clio is going to be quicker and he's going to find a way through. Martin Wald's white car in the background you can see there also making some progress, as Shane Deegan now has dropped back behind Nathan Saunders again in all of this. Back down to fourth position amongst the Stock Catch cars, joint fifth overall as he tries to duke it out there with Martin Ward's Clio. Down towards the hairpin they go. Which car's better on the brakes? There's some smoke as well coming from underneath Shane Deegan's car. I wonder if that's a problem that he needs to be wary of. And here are the Stock Cats leaders. They're side by side once more. Lee Deegan is alongside and they're absolutely together as they make their way down the Hanger Straight. Well, perhaps Lee Deegan here would be better advised to tuck into the toe of Tom Bell and then jink out of it as they head into Stowe Corner, but they are absolutely side by side. Lee Deegan's managed to knock his right hand indicator on somewhere amongst all of this as well. That will just be an accident. I don't think he's actually signalling any form of intent there. Who's through? Well, Deegan runs wide. All four wheels off the circuit there, and I think he's going to tuck back in behind Tom Bell. Yes, he is. It's Mark Armstrong leading overall, but it's Tom Bell that leads the Stock Catches. Lee Deegan second, then it's Martin Ward, and the third of the Stock Catches there is Nathan Saunders. Fourth in the Stock Catch division is the 58 car, isn't it, of Shane Deegan, and then yet another of these Clios coming through. And that's Matt Fincham. On to the final lap we go then. Mark Armstrong stretching his advantage at the front of the field, but still lots to be decided among the Stock Catch divisions, with Matt Fincham, who was the first driver to race one of these Clios, also involved. Philip Wright is still there as well. So Tom Bell getting it very sideways down at Village. Shane Deegan pushing on despite the increasing amount of smoke coming from underneath his Saxo. Both of the Deegans from an autograss background, as is Tom Bell, of course. And that teaches fantastic car control, and we've seen some of that here at Silverstone today. Mark Armstrong, though, who has raced in a number of things, Formula V, Formula Ford, Stock Catch as well, continues to lead this race. But Matt Fincham it is in the number 7 car that's pulling through now to take the place away from Shane Deegan, who's dropping back now from Nathan Saunders in the number 81 car. That's the third of these Stock Catches. And look, it's still almost side by side between the leaders. Deegan's just had to tuck in behind Tom Bell, who tries to cover the line into the Vale for the final time then. There's Nathan Saunders in third position, but it's the checkered flag for Mark Armstrong for the second time this weekend. He wins in the Clio 182 series, but Stock Catch is going to be won again by Tom Bell. Lee Deegan goes over the line in second position, overtakes Bell as they go over the line, and third place goes the way of Nathan Saunders. The second best of the Clios in the end was Matt Fincham, with Martin Ward dropping back on that final lap. Here's a great battle amongst the three Peugeot 106s we have on the grid. Steve Noble, Jonathan Hobbs and Andrew Thorpe are out there, and coming towards there is the 23 car of Jonathan Hobbs, the 40-year-old from Brighton, a customer service team leader by occupation. It's the ex-Tom Molyneux car, an ex-mini-cross racer as well, is Jonathan Hobbs, making his first forays in stock hatch racing. He's going to come out of club corner, and it's a little personal victory for him. He finishes 18th overall, but best of the 106s. So time for a look at the results then. Mark Armstrong it was that took the overall victory, but it was Bell and Deegan that finished second and third, and first and second among the stock hatches, half a second between them, with Nathan Saunders only another 7/10 of a second back in third position. Fourth amongst the stock hatches, Shane Deegan, then Philip Wright and Paul Jarvis completing the top six.
Tom Bell, winner of the stock hatch race there. Another great fight up front between all you three.
Yeah, very good, very hard battle. Pleased with the win, really. Obviously it's a bit more ballast now for Donington, which isn't going to help. There's another 20 I've got to put in now, but if I can stay clean at Donington, try and get some good results, and we'll see where we are in the championship then. But yeah, good.
And it's another good run of championship points for you, and it's looking good towards the end of the season.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, obviously I got a win yesterday and fastest lap, so that's another point. And obviously a win today. I don't know obviously about fastest lap yet, but yeah, it's good. It's my lowest place so far is a fifth, so at Snetterton when I was carrying a lot of weight. So we'll see how we do. It's good.
Well done, Tom.
Cheers.